presentamos en exclusiva la entrevista realizada por el licenciado Nicolás Takeda al prestigioso juez norteamericano, el señor David Powers.
We are here with David Powers, an FCI judge that not only live and have a career in the dog show business in the United States, but also in Mexico. Now he's gonna tell us about his first steps in the dog show business.
Well, I started in dogs really because I was robbed. I'd come back to California from living in New York. I'd been in the house for 2 days. The second night went out to dinner with, the furniture wasn't even there yet. And I was robbed. They got like $100 in, change, whatever. And the policeman said, get a gun or get a dog. And I thought, well, I don't want a gun, so I got a dog. And then I got a Puli, which was my first breed, show dogs. And then I got a bitch, and we bred, and the next thing you know, I'm showing, and then I'm getting Pembroke Welsh Corgis, and then I got my first 2 minutes of fame with Norwich Terriers, and I've had a lot of other breeds along the way. But, I started as everyone does, I suppose, with, well, except for those who are sort of born into the sport. I got my first dogs, bred, then I showed, then eventually become involved in clubs, and I've been president of clubs in both the United States and in Mexico. I've been show chairman in both countries, and I'm still active in Mexico as well as in the United States. I've been show chairman with quite a few clubs. I'm a member of Los Encinos Kennel Club and their delegate. I'm a member of Santa Barbara Kennel Club and was the show chairman. I've been the Club Canafili de Baja California, which is in Ensenada, which is about an hour south of the border by car. I was president there and show chairman, and so it's been a long history of many different breeds, activities on both sides of the country. I started judging in 1985 in Mexico, and then I started in the United States, so about 6 or 7 years later. And really I'm more active with my FCI connections than I am with judging in the United States. I did it because as I'm on both sides of the border, there are times when, it's interesting also to judge in both places to see the different personalities of the exhibitors, the different types of dogs, the different influences. And I love judging internationally because you do see, when you're just in one country, you see more of a type, although there are some breeds that are very different on the East Coast than on the West Coast of the United States. But going around the world, there's a definite type of certain breeds in Europe that's different in the Americas. You see influence here from Europe and from the States sometimes. Argentina, I think in many ways is more of it probably was the country that I considered a breeder's country, very much. Now some of the other countries, Brazil for instance, I see it in Chile, in Mexico, all over now. You're seeing more breeders, which I think is good for the sport. Unfortunately, I think it's disappearing a lot. Not a lot, that's not the right term. But you're not seeing as much of it in the United States as you used to. And I think that's sad. I hope it's just a thing of time, that it will come back again.
'Cause you're hot and you're cold, you're yes then you're no, you're in then you're out, you're up then you're down, you're wrong when it's right, it's black and it's white, we fight, we break up, we kiss, we make up.
You said that for you it's very important the breeding.
Yes.
You think in some countries the breeding is disappearing. You think that is because of the business that is involved in dog shows, or because people are not used to or don't like to breed and have all that steps that needs to be in breeding?
I think there are many different factors. One of them, of course, is the amount of work involved, and I'm afraid in this age of computers and instant gratification, people aren't willing to put in the work that's necessary. And I mean, and then some breeds, I mean, take for instance an Afghan, there's so much work with the coat, so people don't want to do that. But you also find people don't want to do a smooth-coated dog because of just the amount of time, and you really have to have knowledge to be a good breeder. I mean, it's a bit of luck also, but there's a, you know, I hope that there's a bit of knowledge involved and the experience.
It's easier to buy one, and
Yeah, and that's unfortunate too. A lot of people would rather buy and then they get involved and then they leave right away. I think there's also the economic factor. It's gotten more and more expensive, not only to show dogs, but to breed dogs. I mean, I don't know about it here, but I assume it's much the same thing. The veterinary fees have gone up, and I'm not saying it's unjustified. Everything's gone up, but it's become more expensive in many countries now. We've got the animal rights people. I mean, I'm for animal rights, but you know what I'm talking about. They're passing laws that make it more and more difficult. For instance, in the city of Los Angeles, where I live in the States, we are limited to 3 dogs. Well, now it's hard to have a breeding program when you've got 3 dogs. I mean, you know, and people are living more in apartments. They don't have the property that they used to. They don't have the help that they used to. So I think there are many different factors that have led us, unfortunately, to this point where I'm afraid sometimes I think, are we going to be here? I mean, I won't be here, but I mean, 100 years from now, will the sport still be as active as it is now? I certainly hope so. I hate to think of dog shows and our love of dogs and the breeding of purebred dogs would disappear, but there are no guarantees in anything, are there?
No cambies. En el próximo bloque entrevistaremos al señor Julián Cortella, director de la empresa que produce Biofórmula, el nuevo alimento para cachorros y adultos diseñado por especialistas veterinarios que conocen las necesidades del criador. Quédate, hay más. Perros en acción.